of right now. I get my second virus shot Wednesday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Have any of y'all had the shot yet?
We're not eligible.
Oh.
Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, we have a quorum now, but I hope some other people come.
Kurt said he would. If I remember right.
I think everybody said that they could make it today, but you know, things come up. It's the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So. Hey, Mr. Mark.
Hello there.
Did you have nice holidays?
You did, yeah.
Good.
With some of the family, not everybody, but
Your screen froze.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to change rooms. I'm in. I think my internet's kind of slow here, so one
Okay.
moment, please.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Rick, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
I like your delight. Is that daylight donut clock? Is that?
That's correct. That's my favorite donut.
Yeah. Do they still have those? I thought that they used to have one when I first came to Jonesboro, but then I think it went away.
Yeah, pretty much competition put them out.
Are they in existence anywhere else?
There's one in Paragould.
Oh, in Paragould. Okay.
Yeah, and I think one in Truman also.
Oh, okay.
I have 5 o'clock, David.
Okay, yeah. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 of us, so that's good. Okay. You want to start the meeting?
I'm going to call the meeting to order. Has everyone had a chance to review the minutes of the last meeting? I believe was November.
Yes.
Yes.
I hear a motion to approve.
I so move. Jean Passmore.
Second for Rick.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, David, you want to discuss the budget subcommittee meeting?
A little bit. That's the minutes on page 4. And it was just, there were 3 board members and then myself and then Sarah, who does our, all of our money stuff and everything. And so we went through, there's basically 3 different parts. If you look at the budget, there's the personnel, the materials, and the maintenance and operation. And they looked through it and asked questions and things like that. And then I think that it all looked good for them. So we have to approve those minutes and then we can really talk about the budget some more if you want to. So.
So has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the subcommittee meeting?
Yes.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Oh, I so move.
A second?
Mike Johnson,
I'll
second.
second.
So all in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. So David, now do you want to talk about the budget again?
Yep, so on page 5, the first column on the left is basically our budget that we used this past year. And you can see up at the top lines 1 through 7, and then the total on line 8 is all of our income. And then the first part after that, the 9 through 17 is personnel, and 18 through 23 is materials and services. And services would include our internet, things like that, any of those kinds of services. And then 24 through 38 would be all of the maintenance and operation, the buildings, cleaning, administrative costs, PR, programming, things like that. And so we never know exactly how much we're going to get in income taxes, but we try to always be very conservative when we're doing the estimate. So you see to the right of the green line up at the top, we can tell you that if we collect 2.5% of the mill tax, and then we have the same sort of other incomes, there's interest we get because we're forward funded, so it sits in the bank for a year, and so we gain interest on all the money that we collect. There's refunds that we get back from City Water and Light. We get a refund back from, we use a credit card from Iberia, so at the end of the year they give us a 1% rebate back on that. We get miscellaneous things that could be a memorial or something like that. And then we get state aid, and then we also get a match of materials from the Poinsett County Library. So we estimated it at 2 different ways. So at 2.5% on line 8, the total would be $4,154,517. If we got a 3% increase, which is based on property taxes, then we'd have $4,173,217. Now, the past couple of years, it's actually come in even higher than 3%. But we went back and we looked at the past maybe 5 or 6 years, 10 years, I don't remember, but Sarah and I went back to look and see, and it usually averages in that 3 to 3.5 or 4% kind of range. But like I said, we try to be very conservative with how we figure out all of the different things. So if you look down at the very bottom in the red boxes on line 40, you can see that even if we only collect 2.5% of the mill tax, we would still be under budget by $55,000. And if we collect 3% for the mill tax, we're under budget by $74,000. So we're still all in good shape. It gives us a little bit of a cushion in case anything goes wrong either way. And then, like I said, it could be a little bit higher. So the only other thing that we never know until about March, April, May, somewhere in there is the state aid. So sometimes the state aid will go down. So again, the state is on a July through June schedule. So this is just based on what we got last year. This is how we figured it out for the first half of the year. But in years past, occasionally that has gone down. Sometimes it's gone up. Most of the time it stays about the same. But again, that's the only other part of it. There are other factors because it's based on per capita. So if there's other libraries that all of a sudden become independent, they do separate some money out. If your library system, if your director has an MLS degree, then they give you a little bit of a bonus for that. If you work together with another county, like we work together with Poinsett County, so then they give you some bonus for that. So every once in a while, some of those things change. every once in a while, maybe there's some place where they've lost their director and they haven't hired another one, so then they don't get the state aid. The population changes, but for the most part, it's about what that is. So they're the only two parts of that I can't be quite sure. So, but I don't think that the subcommittee really saw any kind of issues with anything. I'm happy to answer any questions. Health insurance, I think, went up a little bit, but not too much. Some of the part-time expenses did go up a little bit because we're going up to $11 an hour for minimum wage. And so there was a little bit of change in that, but for the most part, everything is pretty much stayed the same. So we did raise some of the material with the electronic, of course, with the pandemic going on, more people have been using more of our electronic e-books and e-audio books, and there was a big usage in that. And so we did increase some of those funds by that. We also added about $40,000 into line 22, the technology services, because we really want to update our website. To be honest with you, I have no idea how much that's going to cost. The last time I had looked into it, I think I got prices from 20 to 40,000. Again, we were just trying to be conservative, put that in there just to make sure we had enough. It could come way under that, and that's great. You know what I mean? It could be a little bit over that, and I think we'll still be able to cover it, but we haven't updated our website for 8 or 9 years, and so we just needed to make it look a little bit fresher and things like that. So, but other than that, I think pretty much everything has stayed the same. You can see in line 25, the insurance has gone down quite a bit. And that was because, if you remember, a couple of years ago, we were trying to switch it so that it would occur when we paid for that, and we put the bids out at a different point in the year. So there was a little bit where we were paying like a year and a half at a time, and that's why we had to put the more money into the budget. But now it's sort of back to where we're just paying about a year at a time, and so the price went back down again for that. We did have to up the price in the security guard because, again, during the pandemic, we've had more hours for the security guard than we normally do. And since none of us really know how long it'll be until they lift some of the restrictions and we get more vaccines out and things like that. And so, again, we were just trying to play it safe, and we added a little bit more to that. The building maintenance looks like it's gone up a lot, but that's because this past year, we got a cleaning service. And so we put that in, that's line 27. And so all of the expenses of the cleaning service go under the building maintenance and everything. I think some things went down. Of course, travel expenses went down, but it all kind of, programming went down some, but we're still doing online programming, and we hope to do programming in the fall. And so we didn't want to put that down too much. But other than that, I think, I don't know what questions you have. I tried to cover all the different changes. So you asked me, so.
I got a question. Why did you put travel expenses down? Because we're talking about the next year, aren't we? Does your year start in January?
In January, yeah. Yeah. So we don't think anything's going to happen for normally that pays for several different conferences for various and sundry people. And a lot of them, at least the first half of the year, is going to be knocked out. And so, like, there's a meeting coming up just in January that we're not sending anybody to. The big annual meeting for the library world in general, the American Library Association, happens in June. We might send somebody there, but we don't know whether that's going to occur or not. But there's other smaller conferences that we send some of our children's department to. They go in March generally, and I don't think that that's going to happen. There's a teen one that we've sent people to in the past, and I don't think they're going to send anybody to that. I mean, it's just, just all the conferences are just pretty much on hold until we find out exactly what's happening with the country. And so we didn't want to smear out the budget, but we figured that we weren't going to use all of that money, and so there was no point in putting that in there. So,
Okay.
I do have a question.
yep.
For you mentioned, David, that the minimum wage for part-time has gone up, but I see your budget has gone down. Is that a mistake or?
No, I don't believe so. I just think we don't have as many hours of part-time people that we had. So we aren't hiring as many pages. Is that right, Sarah?
So since we hired the custodial service, we took the two custodians that we had on our personnel budget. We took them out since we're paying for a service now. We also took out the line for the traveling storyteller during the summer, since we didn't figure we'd be able to send people out for in-person serving this summer. So.
Okay, yeah, I had forgotten. So our two part-time custodials, which were college kids, they were under that part-time, even though I kind of don't look at them as being the same as the regular pages, but I had forgotten that they were under that line. So, yeah, okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
I'm just curious, David, who does the work to update the website? What company does that? Is that a local company?
Well, we don't know. Right now, there's a local company that maintains our website. Ace One is who we use. I don't know if we're going to ask them to be the ones to update it. I think we're going to try to put it out for bid, because of course, if it's more than it's going to be a kind of a chunk of change. And so we're going to put it out for bid anyway. So I don't know. I think we're going to look at some other companies that are around. It'd be nice if it was local, because then, they're right across town and you can go and talk to them and things like that. There's not so many options in town. And so, like I said, it's on our books to work on, but I have not done anything towards it yet. So I don't know. But if any of you have suggestions or anything, I'm happy to hear them. Or if you see websites that you really like and think function really well, again, please pass them on to us, because that's all we're going to do is we're going to be looking through websites and looking at different libraries and go, oh, I like that. I don't like that. Who does their website or who doesn't do their website? But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Mike Johnson. I know you can't see me. I hadn't figured out how to click my picture on there, but I am here. I have a question. Do we use the same security service person? Does the same guy show up all the time, or is it a service and they just send whoever wants to come to the library for your security?
Well, so kind of yes to both of those questions. We hired Securitas a couple years ago. And so they just know what hours we want to guard. Now, fortunately, we have the same guard that's here, I think Monday through Thursday. And then we have a different guard on Friday and Saturday, but I could be wrong about that. But they try to match us up with somebody that we really like. We had looked into hiring our own guard a couple of years ago. And the problem is that you run into a bunch of liabilities with insurance, and they have to be, what's the word? They have to be bonded, and you have to sort of go down that road. We really wanted to hire our own, but then finally somebody told me I think it was actually Mr. Donovan that said it's not worth it for you to try to go through all that, because by the time you do all that and then the responsibility and then the insurance, people told me that the insurance was going to be too high. It ends up being cheaper to go through a company and just do that, let them do that. Then they take care of all that headache and everything like that. So if, like on Saturday, I got a call from one of my people, they said no security guard had showed up about 9:30. So I call up the guy, and by 10:15, they had somebody here. And, it takes a lot of headache off of us. It's not normally this expensive, because normally during the year, we have a security guard just from 3 to 7, Monday through Friday. And then we have somebody from about 11 to 5 on Saturday and 1 to 5 on Sunday. And we're trying to do it more from when the kids are here. And so we really are based on kids get out of school at 3 o'clock. So we have a security guard from 3 to 7, and then that cuts down on problems and things like that. But of course, right now we're using the security guard to check and make sure everybody's wearing a mask and everybody is, doing what they need to do and things like that. Now, it could be in the future that we'll end up having somebody here all the time. I don't know, but or maybe somewhere in the middle between those two things. But
Okay, good. Yeah, I knew that when we had checked in that in the school business, it's easier a lot of times to have a service, and that way you don't have all that extra headache and expenses and everything. Actually turned out to be cheaper.
yeah.
So I figured that was probably the case. I just wondered if as many hours as this guard is being involved, if it was the same person or we didn't have any choice over who came.
No, the boss of all of them is very nice and tries to match us up with somebody that really will match the library. And so we have had some problems, but I can call them up and say, look, this guard's not working out. Either they're too loose or they're too uptight, and it's hard to find somebody that sort of gets the library. I just want somebody to mostly be nice to everybody, but make sure they're pretty firm. But yeah, they've switched people out. And so, like I said, the person we have now is good. He's good. I like him a lot.
All right, good. Thank you.
Yep.
More questions? So we need to vote on the budget now.
We need to, yeah.
So do I hear a motion to approve the 2021 budget?
Lily Zhang, so moved.
I hear a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor say yay.
Yay.
Okay.
Opposed, nay.
We're good.
Okay.
Following instructions.
All right. So the only other thing I wanted to tell you about, just because it's a couple things about the construction. So John told me that he and his architectural crew are working to get the construction plans finished by this month. They'll put that out for bid next month. And then we'll hopefully you guys will be able to vote on it the meeting in March, which I believe is going to be the 8th or the 9th, the 8th. So hopefully he'll have the bids back by then, and then you guys can decide if you want to move forward with that. The other thing that I did, I reached out. We have this idea to try to use at least one of the trees, if not both of the trees that they're going to have to cut down. And I've seen in other places, especially children's libraries, where they have a tree that's in the middle of the area. So we're going to try to see if we can somehow cut the tree, like with the main part of the trunk, and then have some of it sort of going into the ceiling, but then also use some of the wood to make some benches going around the tree so the kids could sit there and everything. So all to sort of use the tree. But to be honest with you, I don't know how you do that, right? So I called the extension services and I asked that man, the person I talked to, I explained to him what I wanted. He said, yep, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it done before. I don't know how to do it. So he's going to find out, and then he's going to give me a call back. And he said he'd have to call somebody, the forestry department or something, because I'm sure that there's some sort of a trick where you have to paint it with something to sort of seal everything in. I just don't know what that is or anything. So, but I wanted to sort of get ahead of that before some construction crew just came and chopped it all up and you didn't have a chance to do anything. But I think it's also a great way to reuse the trees. So you're going to lose them, but at the same time, we're going to be able to reuse them inside and not lose all of that. So that's what we're working for. If that doesn't work out, we'll try to think of something else. But I really want to be able to try to use that wood. So at least, if people ask, you could say, well, we repurposed it and it's here in the building. So. But other than that, I don't really have any other announcements. Everything's kind of going the way it's been going. We're trying to take the bookmobile out more regularly. We're going to try to maybe do some distribution places where we're going to try to have some fun. I don't know if we'll get it organized by Valentine's Day, but maybe by St. Patrick's Day, you know, like win your pot of gold and come and pick up some great books, you know, or something like that. Or libraries in the past have had things about Valentine's Day where they do like a blind date where you literally cover you cover the book and you just say it's a mystery book or a Western or something, and then they don't know what they're going to get. It's really a blind date and they just come and get it. So we can't let anybody in the bookmobile, but we're trying to figure out how we could go to places where they might not have access and still check out the books and everything. So we're working on things like that to try to be able to take it out. So anyway, but that's all I have. And I don't know if any of you have anything else to discuss. Our next meeting in February will be a Crowley Ridge meeting, and then probably after that will be a Craighead County, unless we just have no business to take care of. And so I hope you all can make that. But anyway.
David, I did have a quick question. Has interlibrary loan, has that started back again for people? I had someone ask me about that.
To be honest with you, I don't know if we're doing that. I think we are. I've seen some books coming in. Now, we try to just do nonfiction books for the interlibrary loan.
Okay.
So it's sort of an honor system. Like, we don't ask another library for a movie, but we don't lend out any movies either. We don't ask them for like a bestseller, but we don't lend out the bestseller either. So we try to sort of be, it usually ends up being more of a nonfiction. I'm sure if somebody was really dying for something and we could get it, but yeah.
I just knew at one time with COVID, I think it stopped for a little while, and anyways.
Yeah, I think it did. You know that if you guys have been ordering things online, that all the deliveries are kind of behind with everything. And so I've heard that the trucking industry is having a problem with getting enough people to work. And so, and we've had some problems with book delays as well. So, yeah. But if there's anything you want or anything, just let me know. I'll see what I can.
Okay.
I mean, you might know somebody here at the library. I'll see what I can swing for you. So.
Okay. Thank you.
So.
How about the new mayor? Do you think our relationship with him will be as positive as with the last mayor? I do, because when I first came here, he was a representative, wasn't he, a state representative? And I remember that Miss Phyllis used to speak highly of him, and he was a good supporter of the library. So I'm assuming that as the mayor, he'll also be a good supporter of the library. Yeah, I feel good about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move. I'm
Second,
Rick.
Lily's in second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Oh.
We're adjourned.
Thank you all very much. Please come and visit us. Okay.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Thank y'all. Bye.
Thank
Stay
you.
warm.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Good
Bye.
night. Good night. Good to see